This woman is Anna, an interior designer. She is well organized and a perfectionist. One morning, Anna was interviewing for a job in a big apartment in Boston, United States. She confidently explained her capability in designing the interior to impress the client. She was then hired for the job. Her life was full of luck. She is highly educated, had an amazing job, and dated a handsome boyfriend who worked as a cardiologist named Jeremy. They had been dating for a long time, but their relationship didn't seem to work any progress. They were always busy in their own world. After the interview, Jeremy told Anna that he had to visit Dublin for work and had to leave her. The next day, Anna, who had been living independently, hadn't met her family for a long time. She decided to meet her father at the bar. When they met, her father asked about her relationship with her boyfriend. They had been dating for 4 years, but Jeremy never thought of proposing to her. Her father suggested she followed Jeremy to Dublin since, on February 29th, the people of Dublin would hold a unique festival where women were allowed to propose to their boyfriends. That idea didn't interest her at all. As a woman, her self-esteem to propose to a man was too high. That night, Anna and Jeremy had a romantic dinner before Jeremy went off to Dublin. On that occasion, Jeremy gave Anna a box of jewelry. Anna was happy to think that Jeremy finally decided to propose to her, but when she opened the box, she was disappointed. The content was not as she expected. It was an earring, not a ring as she expected. Despite the disappointment, she didn't show it to Jeremy. She didn't want to ruin the romantic dinner she had with him. When she returned home, she couldn't help but kept thinking about it all night. She thought about her father's suggestion about the unique festival in Dublin. Curious, she tried to find out about it on the internet. Looking at the videos where women proposed to men was strange for her. She thought that a woman shouldn't propose to a man. She kept telling herself that it was impossible. Eventually, she decided to go for it. She took the flight to Dublin. During her flight, her plane got a disturbance and had to make an emergency landing at the nearest airport in Wales. Since that moment, bad luck kept hitting her non-stop. She thought of changing planes to continue her flight, but all planes were not operating due to bad weather. She then chose to take the ferry, but the port was closed. Desperate, she then took the fishing boat, but in the middle of the sea, the boat was hit by a big wave and rocked hard. Luckily, Anna still made it to the coast of Ireland, but again, the distance from the coast to Dublin was still very far. She then took shelter in a closed restaurant and met the owner named Declan. She then asked for the local taxi number, but there were no taxis in that area. She didn't give up yet. She made an offer for Declan to take her to Dublin for €500. Despite the lucrative offer, Declan refused and teased her, saying that her only reason for going there was to attend the ridiculous event. She felt too tired to respond to Declan's tease. She decided to stay at the restaurant's motel for that night and continue her trip tomorrow. In the motel room, her bad luck kept happening. Things started falling off. The climax was when she was about to charge her phone. Her charger caused a short circuit and turned off the whole town's electricity. The next morning, when Anna called Jeremy, who was on duty in Dublin, she accidentally saw Declan, who was talking with a debt collector outside. Declan asked to extend the due date for his debt payment until next week. It turned out that when Declan was just starting his business, his friend betrayed him and brought all of his money. He had to borrow some money from the loan shark to keep his business from failing. After that, Declan went to Anna's room. When he opened the door, Anna was changing her clothes. There, Declan told her that he changed his mind. He would help her to reach Dublin as long as she promised not to cause any more trouble. When they were preparing their car, a man approached Anna and told her that a black cat just passed in front of her, and according to the urban legend in that area, that meant 10 years of bad luck. Anna didn't believe that. She was too desperate to continue her journey to Dublin. After everything was settled, they started their journey. On their way, Anna told Declan about her story and her reason to go to Dublin. She told him that her boyfriend never proposed to her after 4 years of relationship, and the reason she went to Dublin was to propose to him. Declan laughed at her. Annoyed, Anna grabbed Declan's food and threw it out of the window. They got into an argument. When Declan played the music, Anna immediately grabbed the cassette and threw it away. Declan was annoyed. He stopped the car and went to get the cassette back while kept mocking her. When they continued their trip, a herd of cows blocked the road, so they had to wait until the cows walked away. Anna decided to drive the cows away because she couldn't wait much longer. After she managed to drive away the cows, she accidentally stepped on the cows' droppings.
You might want to just watch out.
You're welcome.
She then leaned into the car because she was tired. but the car started running down the hill. When she tried to grab the door handle, it broke. Declan tried to stop the car by holding it, but to no avail. The car kept running down the hill, hit the bush, and went into the river. They couldn't use the car anymore and had to continue their journey on foot. Along the road, they kept arguing over each other's mistakes. Anna blamed Declan for not wanting to help her drive away the cows, while Declan asked for extra money for all the problems Anna caused for him, plus for the car repair. After a long walk, a car passed by. Anna decided to call for a ride. At first, Anna thought that the car was trying to give her a ride. She told Declan that their deal was cancelled. Unfortunately, before Anna could enter the car, the driver drove away with all of Anna's belongings. Declan then teased her and told her not to easily believe in strangers. After another long walk, Anna and Declan arrived at a bar. There, Anna accidentally saw the guy that took away her suitcases in that same bar. She decided to scold them, but instead, she was cornered by them. They told Anna to return to America and left Ireland. Declan, who saw Anna cornered by the strangers, came from behind and beat them all. They then continued their journey and arrived at a train station. The officer there told them that the train to Dublin wouldn't come until 2 hours later. They decided to enjoy the view of an old castle on the hill opposite the station to kill their free time. While walking, out of the blue, Declan asked Anna a question. He asked what she would save first if she was trapped in a fire and given 60 seconds to save herself. Anna couldn't answer that question. She then returned the question to Declan, saying what he would save if he was in the same situation. Declan replied with a smile and said that he would save the woman he loved so much. Soon, they arrived at the top of the castle. At that moment, Declan told her about the romantic legend behind the making of the castle. Hearing the story, Anna was touched. She didn't expect such an annoying man could be that romantic. Since that, they got closer to each other. Suddenly, they hear the sound of an upcoming train. They ran in the rain to catch the train. Anna even slipped and ended up covered in mud. Unfortunately, when they arrived at the station, the train had already left. The officer told them that that was the last train that day. Anna couldn't hold her tears much longer. She cried over her bad luck. The officer then asked them to stay in the nearest motel. When they arrived, the motel turned out to be the officer's house. When they entered the house, the officer's wife welcomed them both. Unfortunately, there was only a single room for them to stay in. The wife asked them if they were married or not because she couldn't let an unmarried couple stay in their house. They decided to pretend to be married so they could stay there. When they entered their room, they argued about who would sleep on the bed. Anna decided to determine it using a coin toss. Anna finally won and would be able to sleep on the bed that night. Before that, Anna decided to take a shower, and since the bathroom was only separated by a thin curtain, Declan could see Anna's silhouette in the bathroom. When Declan was taking his turn to shower, the motel owner entered the room and reminded them to join the dinner later. Declan then offered to cook for the dinner. In the evening, Declan prepared the cooking ingredients in the garden. Anna helped him while telling him the story of how she ended up being a perfectionist interior designer like that. Hearing the story, Declan replied that being a perfectionist was not a bad thing, but things might not always end up as planned. After they finished collecting the ingredients, they went inside and decided who would do what. Declan would cook and Anna would arrange the table and do the plating. At the dinner, another couple joined them. At that moment, the motel owner kissed his wife, and after seeing that, the other couple kissed each other too. To avoid suspicion, Declan kissed Anna's cheek, but the other couple's husband said that a married couple should kiss each other on the lips. Forced by the situation, Declan and Anna finally kissed on the lips. But after that, the situation became awkward between them. In their room after dinner, Declan couldn't sleep because the bathroom was wet. He begged Anna to let him sleep on the bed with her. Felt pity, Anna finally let Declan sleep on the bed. That night, Anna couldn't sleep at all. For the first time in her life, she had to share a bed with a man. Declan also felt the same thing. The next morning, Anna prepared to continue her journey to Dublin. When she was about to leave, the motel owner said that in Ireland, people believed that having a journey on Sundays would end up bad. Besides, the train terminals were closed every Sunday, and if they still wanted to go, they had to take the bus, but the bus terminal was far from there. Desperate to continue her journey, Anna knew that she only had 2 days before the festival in Dublin. Anna and Declan then walked to the bus terminal when suddenly, a hailstorm came. They both rushed to take shelter in the church nearby. Inside, there was a wedding, so they pretended to be guests for the wedding. During the wedding party, Declan looked gloomy until when the bride was giving her speech, Declan went away. Anna followed him and asked him what happened. Declan said that he never liked the lovey-dovey. For him, love was nothing but nonsense. Hearing that, Anna realized something. She knew that something bad had happened to him before. She then asked him to tell her about it. Instead of being open to her, Declan mocked her and said that a girl with a relationship problem like her wouldn't be able to help him. Anna was offended and decided to leave him alone. That night at the dance party, Declan approached and invited Anna to join him for the dance. Even though she didn't know how to dance, she still joined the guests. Suddenly, while dancing, one of Anna's heels was thrown at the bride's forehead. When she tried to apologize to her, she accidentally knocked a glass of wine and spilled the bride's dress. Later, Declan approached Anna at the lake. She was drunk, regretting all her misfortune. Anna kept cursing at Declan. Declan knew that she was really drunk and decided not to say a word. He then brought her from there. The next morning, Anna woke up on Declan's lap. Seeing how exhausted Declan's face was in his sleep, Anna felt sorry for him. All the time on their journey, Declan always helped her even though she always caused trouble for him. He then brought her luggage and went somewhere. When Declan finally woke up, he was confused when he found out that Anna had left him. He thought that Anna had taken the bus and left him. Suddenly, Anna came out of the nearby coffee shop and brought Declan a cup of coffee. Anna said that she wouldn't leave Declan because they had a deal to go to Dublin together. Not long after, they took the bus to Dublin. After a short but seemed long bus trip, they finally arrived in Dublin. The deal had ended. Before they parted, they took a walk at the nearby park. At that moment, Declan finally opened up to Anna about his life. He told her that the reason why he hated love was that his fiancée had cheated on him with his best friend. Since then, Declan had never believed in love anymore until now. After he spent his time together with Anna through their journey to Dublin, he finally was able to feel it again. Confused, Anna asked Declan what he meant by that, but Declan didn't say anything but smiled at her. When Declan and Anna arrived at the hotel where Jeremy was staying, Anna took some cash to pay for the deal, but Declan refused the money. He only asked for the coin Anna used before to decide who'd sleep on the bed back when they were staying in the motel as a memento. When they were about to say their goodbyes, out of the blue, Jeremy came and proposed to Anna in front of everyone. He said that he was triggered by the people there who proposed to their partners and decided why not did the same thing. Somehow, in that heartwarming moment, Anna couldn't feel anything. When she turned her back to see Declan, he was already gone. Days later in the restaurant, the loan shark came to ask for Declan's debt payment. He couldn't pay off the debt and asked for more time to pay them. The visitors who saw that decided to help him and gathered some money for Declan to pay all his debt. Declan was touched and decided to free all visitors' meals that day. At another place, at the party in the apartment that Jeremy just bought, he confessed that the reason why he proposed to Anna was simply to get permission from the apartment owner to purchase it because the owner didn't let the unmarried couple stay there. Anna was shocked and couldn't say anything. She didn't know that Jeremy proposed to her not because of love, but to be able to purchase the apartment. She was off thinking in the kitchen when suddenly, she saw the fire alarm. She suddenly remembered Declan's question in the castle before. She then triggered the alarm. Everyone rushed to leave the place. At that very moment, she realized why her relationship with Jeremy never worked out. In the given 60 seconds after the alarm triggered, Jeremy preferred to save all his stuff instead of her. Days passed. Declan was seen busy cooking at his restaurant when suddenly, one of the waiters told him that one of the visitors had a complaint about the meal. The visitor complained that the chicken was too dry. Declan was offended and decided to face the visitor. It turned out that the complaining visitor was Anna. She went there to tell him that her relationship with Jeremy had ended. Since her time with Declan, she realized that she deserved to be laughed at for choosing the wrong man for years. She then offered Declan another deal, not to accompany her to Dublin, but to accompany her for the rest of her life. She proposed to Declan in front of everyone. Declan didn't say anything and went to the kitchen. Felt that she was rejected, she went away. Later on the edge of the hill, Anna was standing there alone trying to calm herself down when suddenly, Declan approached her from behind and asked why she left the restaurant. He was not rejecting her before. He just went to the kitchen to take the ring his mother gave him. Before his mother passed away, she told him to give the ring to someone that he really loved. He said that he finally met the woman that deserved the ring. He kneeled and proposed to Anna.